leak, so I had to refill half of it. So my bill was like $228.
Well, Miss
Still
Harris.
cheaper than having it towed in.
But they chopped it down to like 158 or something.
Yeah,
And once you have the AA degree, and if you
yeah, I
do
paid mine
nursing
by
part,
text,
and it
right.
looks like it'd be about a year to a year and a half,
Somewhere.
depending on how the.
And it got cut off last month. I went up there and asked him, I said,
If
why'd you
that
cut
all
my
lines
text?
up right, it's
Pay by
gonna be
text.
that cost.
It's cut off. I said, yeah.
We'll
They
see.
can cut the pay by text off.
Well, somebody did, because they put it back on there. See?
Prayer.
Can't do this right now. I'll do it when I get home.
All you do is type in, you know,
She sent me your.
pay UB 57.
I'll be honest with you, man.
Yep, we're ready.
We're ready. I don't see our attorney.
She's not coming.
All right, ready? Good evening. Welcome to our City Council work session this May the 18th of 2026. I'm going to call our meeting to order. We're going to start out with an invocation by our Fire Chief, Ryan Baker, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Ms. Harris. If you would, please stand with me.
Good evening. Tonight, right before I say the prayer, I would just like to point out a couple things in our community that's been going on. Recently, the baseball coach at Stuart Kramer passed away unexpectedly. He leaves behind a wife that's an expectant mother, so we'll lift him up tonight in prayer. And then past city attorney Kemp Michael is also not feeling well at this time, so we would like to lift him up also.
And if you would mention Max Pendleton, please. We lost Max Pendleton, the pastor at Catawba Heights Baptist, longtime pastor at Catawba Heights Baptist Church.
Absolutely. Let us pray. Lord, we come to you tonight with the spoken prayer requests and then the ones that are unspoken as well. There's a lot of things that happen in life that we really don't understand the reason behind them, but that's where we have to trust you. Lord, there are three prayers that you will answer every single time that we ask. That is salvation, forgiveness, and also wisdom. So tonight, Lord, the council members before us, we pray for the wisdom and the decisions that they have to make going forward, the integrity for which they do their job every single day. We also ask for protection over our community, protect those that protect us, both here and abroad as well. Lord, give all of us courage to lead in this time. And also, most importantly, we thank you for the grace that your Son laid on before us on that cross. So, God, we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Please join me in the pledge.
Thank you. You may be seated. We're going to set the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Mr. Reeves, second by Mr. Meadows. All in favor? That motion passes. We have two items on the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve those two items. Ms. Harris and Mr. Meadows. All in favor? That motion passes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I didn't want to pull it off the agenda, but I just wanted to recognize the amazing job that the Garland Works people do. Our social media, the pictures, the quality, the videos, the candid shots, the kids, I mean, the seniors, you can keep going on and on. They capture the essence of what we do to enhance the quality of life here at Mount Holly, and I just wanted to say that out loud in a public forum.
They were there all day, Saturday.
Yes, they were.
All day.
They're as good as it gets. They do the best job, and it's out there immediately, you know, a lot of the stuff that they do.
That
So,
night.
so we're very fortunate to have them, so
And high-quality product.
absolutely.
A lot of it.
Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, moving on, we're going to go into presentations, review, and consider approval of the Tuck Park mural project. Mr. Lowe.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Give me 1 second, let me just pull up the design. So this is a 240 square foot mural planned at Tuck Park. It's by the same artist that worked on the mural at Pinewood School. And if approved tonight, it can be completed by the end of June. And we've been working with park staff as well as PAC. They're in support of the design, and so as staff, we recommend approval. I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Lowe? Mr. Craig?
No question, just move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Craig to move forward with this, second by Ms. Harris. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Lowe.
Sir.
Okay. Second on presentations, the discussion of the proposed 2026-2027 budget and fee schedule. Mr. Blanton and Ms. Ashley Whitstein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. As the City of Mount Holly's budget officer and city manager, I am pleased to present for your consideration the city manager and staff's recommended budget for fiscal year 2027. Over the last few months, our team has been working diligently to prepare the recommended budget for Council's consideration. In a collaborative and fiscally disciplined effort, the recommended budget was prepared over several months with significant participation from city staff, department directors, our finance team, and guidance provided by our city council. I would like to sincerely thank all of you for the policy direction that was given at the February 27th retreat, which kicked off our budget process. I would like to thank our executive staff department, our supervisors, our employees for their participation and their input as we have worked to compile these requests, evaluate operational needs, and prioritize expenditures. The recommended budget is balanced and is prepared in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 159-11 and totals $47,704,017. The recommended budget consists of the following funds: the general fund, which is balanced at $27,531,226. The Water and Sewer Fund, which is also sometimes referred to as the Enterprise Fund, which is balanced at $18,533,961. The 911 Wireless and Wireline Fund, which is balanced at $211,830. The Tourism Development Authority Fund, which is balanced at $270,000. The Powell Bill Fund, which is balanced at $1,132,000. And a Capital Reserve Fund in the General Fund totaling $25,000. The recommended budget is also supplemented by multiple ongoing capital project ordinances supporting major infrastructure, utility, and recreation improvements throughout the city of Mount Holly. This recommended budget reflects the city's continued commitment to responsible financial stewardship, strategic capital investment, workforce stability, and long-term fiscal sustainability. The general fund is projecting $27,531,226 in revenue for fiscal year 27. These are, of course, funds that are derived from property taxes, sales and use tax, investment earnings, and utility franchise taxes. The proposed property tax for fiscal year 2027 remains the same and untouched at 40.5 cents. The general fund provides funding to departments such as council, our administration, police, fire, garage, streets, and solid waste, planning, and parks and recreation. Expenditures are increasing by 9.2% this year, and total capital funding across all departments is approximately $1.5 million. A major focus of the recommended budget is the continued investment in capital infrastructure and equipment necessary to maintain high-quality municipal services and support Mount Holly's continued growth. One notable change that we have implemented this year is that the city has restructured its capital budgeting practices by allocating capital expenditures directly within departmental budgets rather than maintaining a standalone capital account. This revised approach will provide improved transparency, more accurate departmental cost allocations, and enhanced accountability for long-term infrastructure planning. Capital projects that are provided for in the general fund include investing in professional bike trails, disc golf improvements at Mountain Island Park, We are also looking at Sandy River Road access for kayak launch and design in this year's budget, ADA improvements at Tuckasegee Park, new radios for our police department, air packs for our fire department, cameras to the Mount Holly Museum, and continuing to invest in our public arts program as we strive to provide the highest quality of life to our residents and invest in these essential services. Our water and sewer fund are projecting $18,533,961 in our water and sewer fund. These are funds that are derived from our water and sewer sales, stormwater revenue, and utility fees. The recommended budget provides for a 12% increase in water rates and a 9.5% increase to sewer rates as per the recently approved Raftellus rate study that was approved by council several years ago as a 5-year plan. The Water and Sewer Fund allocates funding to the water, sewer, field service, stormwater, and utility departments. We are projecting a 16.5% increase in expenditure for this fund, with $5,456,020 allocated to the Water and Sewer Fund for capital projects. As I mentioned before, that's a standalone fund. Some of those projects that we are going to be investing in are improvements to our north water tank, sewer improvements, drainage improvements, and additional infrastructure on Legion Road for our space needs. The 911 Wireless and Wireline Fund consists of funding from revenue derived from surcharges on wireless and wireline telephones in the 911 service area. These funds are collected by the state and then they're distributed to the city. We are projecting $211,830 in this fund this year. The TDA, the Tourism Development Authority, consists of funding from occupancy taxes paid by travelers who stay overnight in one of our 2 hotels or in Airbnbs, any business that collects those occupancy taxes. They are overseen and expended by the TDA board, and we are projecting $270,000 in revenue and expenditures. The Powell Bill Fund consists of funds for the maintenance of public streets, which we derive again from the state of North Carolina and then are distributed to the city. We are projecting $1,132,000. Try that one more time. $1,132,000 in the Powell Bill Fund. We are also planning to purchase equipment such as a street sweeper out of this fund. The recommended budget also reflects continued efforts to manage debt responsibly. General fund debt service totals approximately $1,583,378. This is a decrease from the previous fiscal year due largely to the retirement of the city's 2017 general obligation debts. The projects that we are currently financing include paving projects from several years ago, the new fire station in the north, the renovations to the public works facility, this municipal building, the debt that will soon be rolling off of this building, the new fire truck that we financed, as well as some general obligation bonds for the Greenway and at Tuckasegee Park. In the enterprise fund, the debt service totals approximately $2,480,742. This is also a decrease as existing loans continue to mature. These projects include our partnership with Charlotte Water. Again, portion of the paving project came from the enterprise fund, as did portions of the fire station, public works facility, and the municipal building. This also includes the state revolving fund loan for the decommissioning of our plant the decommissioning came out of the Charlotte Water. The revolving fund was to expand sewer lines in South Gateway, as well as our water tank. The recommended budget strategically focuses on 3 goals. As discussed previously, the recommended budget first prioritizes maintaining existing infrastructure, improving operational reliability, and strategically planning for future capital needs in order to continue to sustain the successful operational stability that the city and our residents enjoy and take pride in. The recommended budget also continues the city's commitment to supporting and retaining a talented workforce that delivers exceptional public services to our residents and to our community. The budget includes a 3% across-the-board cost of living adjustment for employees in recognition of continued inflationary pressures and the importance of maintaining competitive compensation within the regional labor market, particularly with the close proximity that we are to Charlotte and the number of municipalities here in Gaston County. Personnel cost increases reflected through the budget primarily relate to employee retention efforts, rising benefit costs, and operation staffing support. The recommended budget does not include significant departmental expansions, and we are not proposing any new positions in fiscal year 2027 budget. We are instead focusing on maintaining stability within the organization and ensuring departments have the resources necessary to continue delivering services effectively. The recommended budget lastly reflects a disciplined and measured financial strategy that balances operational needs with long-term fiscal responsibility. While fund balance appropriations remain necessary to fund large-scale capital projects in fiscal year 27, the recommended budget intentionally seeks to minimize reliance on fund balance where feasible and positions the city to replenish reserves in future fiscal years. Investing earnings are projected to decrease by approximately 28% due to reductions in available fund balance and changing market conditions. As a result, the recommended budget emphasizes conservative revenue forecasting and disciplined expenditure management. The recommended budget intentionally projects revenue in a conservative manner, thus fund balance is shown as being necessary to balance the budget to meet our statutory obligation to present a balanced budget. It is our hope that this will be minimal, and our staff is committed to continuing the prosperous path we have been on over the past few years and minimizing fund balance where and when possible. Of our two largest fund balances, that being the savings accounts that the city has, the general fund is $16,995,481, and our water and sewer fund is $40,712,004. As the City of Mount Holly's budget officer, my highest priority is to exercise fiscal discipline and manage all funds responsibly, and I am proud that the recommended budget reflects that commitment. In conclusion, the recommended budget is balanced and it is in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 159-11 and reflects the city's continued commitment to sound financial management and responsible growth. The recommended budget, as I said, is based on a recommended 40.5-cent tax rate, a 12% increase to water rates, 9.5% increase to sewer rates, and no increase to the city's garbage fee. Financial forecasting for the upcoming year provides for a 1.9% increase in property taxes, a 7.3% increase in sales and use tax, a 7.1% decrease in utility franchise tax, and a 28.5% decrease in investment earnings. As your city manager, I believe this recommended budget represents the best possible proposal under the city's current financial circumstances and within the policy direction provided by this council. Although difficult decisions were necessary throughout the process, the budget reflects a thoughtful, balanced, and strategic approach that invests in infrastructure, supports employees, maintains service levels, and responsibly manages taxpayer resources. The public hearing on this budget is scheduled to be held at our regularly scheduled June 8th City Council meeting at 7:00 p.m. in Council Chambers. Any person wishing to make comments may do so at the public hearing prior to the adoption of the budget ordinance, which will be presented to the City Council at that time. The recommended budget will be available for public review at the Mount Holly Municipal Complex during normal business hours. It will also be posted on our website, and then later this week it will be advertised in the Gaston Gazette, giving notice that our public hearing will be occurring on June 8th. This budget is a result of extensive collaboration and professionalism across this organization, something that I'm very proud of. The professional staff that we have in place, their willingness to work with management to fulfill council's goals and objectives. I would like to extend my sincerest appreciation to our new finance director, Ms. Ashley Wetstein, Deputy Director Becky Conder, our finance department, all of our executive staff and department heads who contributed significant time, effort, and energy throughout the budget development process. So thank you guys so much. It is with the sincerest gratitude and appreciation that I respectfully submit and recommend this proposed budget to the City Council tonight, the 18th day of May. I will be happy to answer any questions, as will our Finance Director, pertaining to the budget. We will take any feedback that you all have, incorporate that into the final draft, which will be posted in the upcoming days, and then we will have a formal hearing on this matter on June 8th. And I'm happy to answer any questions, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Brooks?
I just want to say,
Any other comments, questions? Mr. Meadows?
So looking through, while it's a balanced budget, there appears to be a use of the unassigned fund balance. Is that absolutely necessary? Is that something that we can start moving away from, as policy always been since I've been on council, that we don't really use capital funds to offset operating to the greatest extent possible? Is that something that could possibly be amended in this budget?
Staff and I looked at that option. As I said, we have made a very conservative estimate of revenues. We're hoping that those will come in stronger than we project, which will minimize the amount of fund balance that we will actually be able to use. But for the budget to be statutorily balanced, that we will need to use a portion of the fund balance for the general fund in order to be statutory compliant in drafting of the budget ordinance. But we certainly will make every effort to ensure that that is minimal and do our best within upcoming budgets based on the continued growth of Mount Holly, potential revow that may be happening next year, to ensure that it is minimal and that we are not using fund balance, if at all possible, for operational costs.
Anyone else? Well, I'd like to thank staff and all the department heads, myself, and with Becky and Ashley and Mr. Blanton, all the hard work you've done. I know this was a little bit of a challenge this year, but we got through it, and so we'll just do a public hearing on June the 8th, and hopefully we'll move forward with that budget and pass that so we can have that done like we're supposed to instead of like the state does. So get a little ahead of the game. Any other comment on this? All right, we're going to move on.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Okay, old business, consideration of a petition for annexation submitted by Lisa Grice and SJS of NC LLC for a 33.2105 acre tract of land located at parcels number 177847, 177844, 177594, 177846, and 218371. Mr. Blanton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the city attorney is not here tonight, I will give a brief overview of this action agenda item. Last week at the May 11th City Council meeting, Council approved the rezoning of the Holly Heights property, but postponed the annexation vote until tonight in order to get the final signed version and in order to ensure that it had been properly reviewed and legally vetted to allow the developer additional time as well. The developer and current landowners have now signed the agreement. We are in possession of that. The proposed annexation ordinance and agreement have been provided to the City Council. I'm glad to answer any questions that you all may have as it pertains to those agreements. Their terms were previously discussed at several meetings, including the May 11th meeting. Since the required public hearing was held on April the 13th, Council may move to approve both the annexation agreement and the annexation ordinance tonight if you all see fit. They have been legally reviewed, we have vetted them, and we have proposed that the council move forward with the approval of both of these documents. But again, happy to answer any questions that you may have, Mr. Mayor, Council.
Any questions for Mr. Blanton? Mr. Craig?
Could you explain briefly the difference between rezoning and annexation?
Sure. So in order to expand municipal boundaries, the city has a tool, voluntary annexation. Involuntary annexation was outlawed many years ago. So a property owner would make a request to the city to annex property outside the city limits into the city. Council would review that through directing the city clerk to examine the sufficiency of the annexation petition. If at such time it is determined that the petition is sufficient, public hearing is called for in order to move forward with an annexation ordinance. If the annexation ordinance does pass, the city council is then tasked with assigning zoning to that property. The annexation cannot be contingent on the rezoning, but the rezoning can be contingent on the annexation, which is what happened last week. City Council voted to assign zoning to this particular property contingent on the annexation ordinance and the annexation development being approved by the council. So that's where we are tonight, Councilman Craig. Council has voted to assign the zoning to this property. It now would require official action in order to officially annex the property into the municipal boundaries of the city limits of Mount Holly.
Mr. Meadows?
Just to make sure I'm clear, so a rezoning decision and an annexation decision are independent of one another to some degree?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor.
Any other comments, Mr. Craig?
And just for clarity, annexation into the city limits would make the, I guess, neighborhood, if you will, pay city taxes, city sewer, city water?
Correct, Councilman Craig. This council has been very specific that in order to receive city services, that being garbage, water and sewer, police, fire, that is required on annexation. So that is where we are tonight. If council votes to move forward with this annexation ordinance, this annexation agreement, this property will be within the city limits of Mount Holly. It will be subject to taxation by the city of Mount Holly and subject to all services provided by the city of Mount Holly.
Ms. Shoemaker?
Last week at the meeting, and I realize it's only been a week, so I don't expect action, but Councilman Meadows had mentioned, and we had discussed the topic of a review of our general approach to evaluating some of the developments, especially North Main, and a direct reflection of our understanding of the concerns of the citizens that live in that area. Obviously, there's no presentation tonight, probably not in June 8th, but like, do we have a time frame where we might hear something back from staff, like recommendations or anything like that, where we'd, just an idea to give citizens a sense that we are hearing them? And
Yes, ma'am, Councilwoman Shoemaker. Assistant City Manager, Planning Director Bill and I talked about this last week. We are going to spend the summer looking at our land use plan. We are going to be evaluating options for where we can tweak, change, and make reasonable recommendations to the city of Mount Holly that reflects 2026 Mount Holly and not Mount Holly at the time that this was adopted. We are aiming for August for that to be before the City Council for review, discussion, and deliberation.
perfect, thank you.
Any more discussion or comments? Would council like to take action on this?
Move approval.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Meadows. I have a second by Mr. Brooks. All in favor? The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Blanton. Okay, up next is new business, our city manager report by Mr. Blanton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have just a few things that I want to share with the public and council tonight, as it has only been a week since we have been together. But city administrative offices will be closed next Monday. That's why we are meeting here tonight. We will be observing Memorial Day. City administrative offices will be closed, but there will be no delay in residential garbage pickup. So certainly thank you to our Public Works team, Mr. Clark, for working on Memorial Day to continue to provide excellent services to our residents. But we will be closed next Monday. I want to thank everyone that came out this last weekend for our festival. It was a wildly successful day. We heard many praises. The weather was perfect, much better than it was a couple of weeks ago. So special thanks to our special events team, Mr. Smallwood, Ms. Clary, for a fantastic day, and of course the support of our council for coming out and enjoying downtown Mount Holly this past Saturday. Before we meet again, we will be having a Mount Holly Nights on Friday, June 5th, so we certainly encourage everyone to come out, enjoy our summer concert series as we keep the fun going with our special events team. And I believe that that is all that I have tonight, Mr. Mayor. Again, thank you all for your support, direction with the budget, and a special thank you to Ashley, Becky, Katie, our finance team, for the great work over the past few weeks in putting this together. We'll look forward to formally presenting and receiving public comment at the June 8th meeting. That is all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor, but glad to answer any questions or concerns of the council.
Question?
No question, but I would like to give a shout out and kudos to the Parks and Rec team. The planning, the insight, big picture thinking of the change to the event this past Saturday was, it was brilliant. And I know, like, I had my kids out there, and my son was like, I don't remember there ever being so many games before. It was like, everything was fun. It was like let's learn about trash, and it was fun. It was a game. So, the art, everything that was done was just really, really special. I think it was really great, and I hope to see it just continue to grow every year. So, thank you.
Mr. Meadows.
One of the things I thought was really neat was that we have enough art in our downtown area to actually have tours. I think there were 2 separate ones where you had a walking tour for the art. That is an accumulation of all the work we've been doing over the last several years to get to the point where you actually have enough mass to bring people and show them multiple things. That was really neat for me.
We had the mobile mural going on with the hats too, that was pretty cool.
It's really cool.
That was something different that a lot of people had never seen, so. But again, as was mentioned, the department heads, the recreation department, David Clark and Jason, thank you guys for doing so much. Just never stop. I mean, it's over and you can't tell it ever happened. We clean up and it's done and we're moving on to the next thing. So thank you guys, all of you, so much for doing that.
David.
Mr. Reeves.
Just wanted to add to what Lauren said. We were across from the board where they were using the dots to do art. those kids were having a just absolute amazing day over there creating that art. I thoroughly enjoyed just sitting there watching that. It was a great day. And again, thanks to the staff. Wonderful job.
All right. Ms. Harris, did you have something?
I have a motion. That we
Really?
adjourn.
I will second that.
Okay. We got a motion by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Shoemaker. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you all for being here.